Lauren, how about your 50? I don't think I've ever seen somebody smile bigger for a 6th place.
I wanted to be in the A final all 4 years, and I finally did it and set won a best time in prelims and finals, and I can't tell you when the last time I did that was, so that felt really, really good. If you would have asked me at the beginning of the season, it was probably, I didn't have a lot of hope, but yeah, it feels really great to be able to come and just do my best for the team.
But I went into it trying to just stay in my own lane, put my blinders on, kind of swim it my own way. I honestly had no idea where Taylor was or where Asia was or where really anyone was during that race because I was trying to just focus on my own swim. Like kind of planning my race out when I was warming up, I knew I needed to work those last 2 walls. That was my strength and I needed to use that to my advantage, so I pushed them as far as I could and gave it my best. So.
Were you hoping for a 20-point alone?
Yeah.
We all were.
I literally knew I could do it, and I was like, all right, I'm going 20-point, like, at the end of this year. Like, I knew I was going 20-point, and I didn't. And I was, like, really disappointed. Like, at first, like, when I first saw my time, I was like, dang it! And then, like, it took me a second to realize that I actually, like, broke my American record, and then I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I was just like, so, like, you know, you're so close, and, like, I'm like, well, what could I have done to go 0.03 faster? Like, I'll always, like, something to strive for, though, but definitely a little bummer. But, I mean, I can't be disappointed, so.
I was a little nervous going into this meet just because I didn't want to repeat what I did my sophomore year, which was break the American record at Big Tens and then not, you know, obviously not do that at NCAAs, so I was a little nervous about that, but I'm really glad that I was able to kind of overcome that and learn from the past and go faster.
What was it that you learned from that last time?
I just decided to be in the mood to swim fast today, and I don't think I was quite mentally there sophomore year. But yeah, I mean, just told myself to go and I went. Pretty easy.
How do you decide to be in the mood to swim fast?
I don't know. It's like, oh, okay, I guess today's the day. I think at some point during warm-up I realized that it was like my last 100 breaths in college ever, and I was like, okay, you know, today'd probably be a good day to go fast. But yeah, I mean, it was exciting, and we had a really good session, like the whole team did, so that got me fired up.
Is this like a statement night for you guys, do you feel?
I feel like we can only control what we can do, and like we always talk about that, like control the controllables, and like we can't control what Stanford does or is gonna do the rest of the meet, and obviously they're amazing. They're an amazing team, and they're super deep, and like props to them. They're having amazing swims too, and I think like obviously everyone wants to win, and we would love to win, and there's so many factors though, and you never know what is gonna happen tomorrow or Saturday or anything. So I think just taking it one day at a time is something one session at a time even is something we talk about, just to, you know, get your hand to the wall as best you can and get as many points as you can, and in the end, whoever comes out on top, like, props to you, and it'll be fun. It's just like we always talk about, this is really cheesy, but like just have fun with it, like, and if you're not enjoying the experience, like,
we're just like, I think we're out there just focusing on ourselves. Like, a lot of people say, like, oh, you're missing Kathleen and all those points, but like, she was more than just points. Like, she was a teammate, and she was like part of our senior class, and just an awesome in every aspect. And so like, it's hard filling that gap, but I think we have had to look at it from a different way. It's not filling a gap. Like, no one is Kathleen. Like, no one can, like, it's just, like, she's her own person. Like, with like out the points and all that, like, she was a great person, or she still is, but like, she still is. But like, I just think it's like rallying around what we have now, and really just being in the present, being with this team, and just like Abby said, having fun and focusing on ourselves. Like, Stanford's great, we're great, like, there's so many people out there that are great, and just really honing in on what we're doing and just doing it the best that we can.
I try to think as much as possible about my race plan while I'm swimming. It's the most painful race that I get to swim, and I think that taking it lap by lap and thinking about the breakdown of my race while I'm doing it is definitely something that helps, and having my teammates there with me, it helps me stay comfortable, kind of shake my nerves a little bit, but going through my race strategy as I go is kind of the way that I try to approach it each time. You can't sprint out the gates, where it's going to be really painful at the end, so definitely taking it out smooth and letting the energy of the environment like kind of get me going, and then try to sustain that. Yesterday,
2 great relays. I mean, you guys just crushed it in the relays. What was that like, especially after how the day started for you?
Yeah, so didn't really turn out the way I wanted to, and about that disqualification, it's really not what I was expecting, and I don't really think it was a fair judgment, and our coaches did argue against that, but you know, it is what it is. I can't really control that, and I know the best thing for me and the team to do is just to move on and focus on the rest of the races that we had, and that's exactly what we did. We had some great relays, some great individual events last night, and we did lose some points because of the disqualification, but it takes a whole team in order to be top 3 at NCs and not just one individual, and we saw that last night, that everyone stepped up. We scored a lot of points, and we're in a really good position now, and I'm so proud of how the whole team responded to this incident.
I'm gonna be honest, the only thing in my head during a 50 free is just it is just like internal screaming for like a 50 and just like racing everyone around me. I don't know about Abby, but I know in high school it was a lot about stroke count and stuff, but as I've grown older, for me it's just like I do better when I'm just racing and not thinking about it and just being in that zone.
Yeah, I feel like this is the difference for me. When I want to relay, I just go, and that's when I just like know how to just race. When I'm in my individual, I overthink things sometimes, and especially in my 50, Terry gets on me because when I try to swim really fast, sometimes I go slower. Like, that's what we talk about a lot at Cal. It's like when you like try, you like fight with the water a lot, and so what I try and do in my races recently is kind of just like not overthink it, which is really hard for me to do. I'm a very technical person, especially in practice. Like, I do stroke counts a lot and like focus. I overthink in practice, and I think that's where to do it is like overthink in practice, and then let your body is like a machine. And so like when you train it in practice, then when you come to a meet, like it knows what to do and you can just let it go. So like I feel like I've been working on that myself. So in my races, I do think a lot. I can't tell you what I think about, but in the moment I'm thinking a lot, yes. A lot of it's like just go, but there is some technical things.
Just more determination, more focus. Going from sophomore to junior year, I kind of had a chip on my shoulder, and this year I was a lot more confident in myself. I swam more for myself than to prove things to other people. So I was a lot more focused and determined in and out of the water, especially in the weight room.
I mean, this week has been, obviously this whole meet is always up and down, and I think our team has experienced that, and we're just trying to be better each day, better each session, each race, and having that next mindset that if one thing goes good, great, but you need to move on to the next thing, and if something goes bad, move on to the next thing. And I try to portray that as much as possible for my team and bring them along with me and just keep battling for that trophy.